Good morning, student. Today we are going to discuss chapter 8 comparing quantity exercise 8.3 question number 1. Question number 1 have calculate the amount and compound interest on uh, 10,800 rupees for 3 years at 12.5 percentage per annum compounded annually. Okay, so how can you find amount and the compound interest? So we use the following formula to find amount and compound interest. So let's see how can find amount. Amount is equal to principal into 1 plus rate by 100 power time. Okay, so we represent amount by A, principal by P, rate R, small r, okay, and time represented by N. Okay, let's see. Amount, A represent amount, okay, P represent principal, N represent time, R small r represent rate. Okay, this amount we find principal 1 plus rate by 100 to power time. Okay, so this formula we can write like this: A is equal to amount principal into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N. Okay, now this is formula to find amount, but we also find the compound interest. Compound interest is equal to compound interest is equal to A minus P, amount minus principals, where A represent amount and P represent principals. Okay, so first we find amount, and after this if we subtract principal from amount, then we obtain in compound interest. Okay, so compound interest we can write CI, and also we use two other formula to find direct compound interest. We use this formula: P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power N minus 1. In this formula we also find compound interest. Okay, now if we are talking about simple interest, so simple interest means we can find, we use this formula SI. This is simple interest. This is equal to P into R into T by 100. Clear? Where SI represent simple SI represent simple interest. Clear? Simple interest. P represent principal, N represent, R represent rate, and T represent times. Okay, so in this way we can find the amount of given principal and compound interest, also simple interest. Okay, so in this question number 1 have Part A, this is given that 10,800 means this is amount. So this is principal 10,800 for 3 years. 3 years is time at 12 and a half years per percentage per annum compound annually. So in this case, principal is given here 10,800 rupees. Time is 3 years at rate is 12 and a half years. 12 and a half percentage per annum compound annually. So let's see how to calculate amount and compound interest on the given principal, time and rate. Okay. So this is the first part of this question, and first learn this formula, and let's see how to use this formula to find principal. So this is A part of this question. Principal is given here. Principal is given here rupees 10,800. Time is given here 3 years. Time is given here 3 years, and also rate is given here. What is the rate? Rate is 12.5% per annum. Also you can write it 12.5. You can write it 12 to the 24 plus 1 25. 25 by 2% per annum. Okay, percentage. This is given per annum. Clear? So first we find the amount. So what is the formula to find amount? A is equal to, means amount is equal to principal into 1 plus r upon 100 to the power n. Okay. So here this is amount. A is equal to principal into 1 plus r, this is rate, 100 to the power n. Okay. A represent amount, P represent principal, R represent rate, N represent time. Okay. So we can write it. A is equal to, principal is given here 10,800 rupees. 1, R is given here. What is R? 25 by 2, because it is given, rate is given here. R represent rate. Rate is given here 12.5 years. So we can write it 22 by 2. So here 22 by 2 divided by 100, R by 100 into time is 3. Clear? This is given here 3 years. Okay, we need to find the amount and the compound interest for 3 years. Rate is given at the rate 12.5%, and for amount for principal 10,800. Okay, so we can also write it 10,800 into 1 plus 25 by 2 into 100. Okay, we also cancel it. 25 for the 25, 25 for the 100. So we can obtain here in this place 1 upon 8. Clear? Now we can also write it power 3. So this is equal to, A is equal to 10,800 into 1 plus 1 by 8 power 3, because you can cancel it 100, but 25 for the 100, so 2 into 4, this is equal to 8. Now in next step you can also write it A is equal to 10,800 into 8 to 1 ja 8 plus 1 9 by 8. 9 by 8 to the power what? 3. Clear? So 9 by 8 to the power 3, it means that you can write it 9 into 9 into 9 by 8 into 8 into 8 3 times. Okay, so this is equal to 10,800 into 9 into 9 into 9 by 8 into 8 into 8. Clear? So you can cancel it. You can cancel 4 2 ja 8, 4 2 ja 8 and 4 7 ja 28. Now we have this number. Clear? And again you cancel it. Then you obtain here 2 1 ja 2, 2 3 ja 2 5 ja 0. Clear? 2 1 ja 2, 2 3 ja 7, and this becomes 10, 2 5 ja 10. This. Okay. Now again you can cancel, and if you multiply 9 into 9 into 9 3 times, then you obtain so here you obtain amount is equal to 1,350 into 9 into 9 into 9, 9 into 9 81 into 9 1 ja 9, 9 8 ja 72. It means that 9 to the power 3 is equal to 729. This becomes 729. This is a cube of 9 and divide by, we cancel 1 8, but we have 2 8, 8 into 8, this is equal to 64. Okay, 8 into 8, this is equal to 64. When we divide 1,350 by 64, then we obtain 21.09357. Okay, so this is equal to 21.09375 into 729. This is clear. After this, if you multiply it by 729, 21 into 0.0937 by 729, then you obtain 15,377.34. Okay, when you multiply this, then you obtain 15,377.34. Clear? So this is a amount. What is amount? We find amount is equal to rupees 15,377.34 rupees. Clear? Approx. And after this, we need to find here. What we need to find here? We need to find here compound interest. We represent compound interest by CI. So you know very well, we use formula to find compound interest, and this is equal to what? This is equal to amount minus principal. You can write here amount minus principal. So we find here amount. What have we want to find here? 15,377. 15,377.34 subtract 10,800 rupees. 10,800 rupees. We subtract it 10,800 rupees from 15,377. Then you have to compound interest. Okay, so here you can subtract it. This is 15,377 minus 0.34 minus 10,800 to 0.00. Clear? So you can subtract then here you up to 0.34, and when this is 7 it is, this is 7 it is, but here the 3 is a set, then you take 1 carry, then you have 13 5, you have to 5, and here this becomes 4. So 4,577.34 rupees we have been compound interest. This is equal to rupees 4,577.34. Okay. See, student, in this questions, this is given compound interest. This is find to compound interest and amount, and given the principal, times, and a rate. So in this question we also find the amount and compound interest by using the simple interest. So let's see how to find by simple interest. Okay, in simple interest we will find one by we take 1 year to find SI. After this we add SI to principal, then you obtain amount. This amount is principal becomes next second years. After this we find the again principal of this amount, and after this we add this interest to given second year principal, and this amount will be become principal for third years. Okay, so we find in 3 step amount and principal and in compound interest. So let's see how to find it. Here this is given a rate, rate is 12.5%. Okay, so simple interest, if you add simple interest you know very well, SI is equal to P principal R rate time T by 100. Okay, this is simple interest. When we add SI simple interest to principal, then it's become amount. So this amount become principal in next years. Okay, so we find the compound interest and the amount. Okay, so we first take 1 year, the time is given 3 years, so we take 1 year, find simple interest, again 1 year, find simple interest, and again 1 year, find simple interest. So let's see how to find simple interest and the amount and the compound interest by using simple interest formula. Okay, so first we find simple interest. So here you can see this is given. What is given here? Then SI is equal to 10,000 is principal, 800 into time is, here we take time 1 year only, and rate, what is the rate? 25 by 2. 25 by 2 into 100, this 100. Okay, so you can cancel this, 0 cancel, and if you cancel here, you have to 54. 54 into 1, 54, and in 54 into 25. Okay, so 54 into 25. So 24, 25 for the 100. Here we have done 0, and here 25 into 5, and carry 10. So 25 for the 100. 25 and for the 125 plus 10, 135. So you can write here 135. Clear? So SI, we find SI for first years is 1350. Now we find amount. So amount is equal to what? Amount is equal to A, present amount. So amount is equal to SI. This is equal to 1350 plus principal. Principal is 10,800. This becomes 0 plus 5 5, 8 plus 3 11, carry 1, again 0 plus 3 1 4, and 1 into, okay, 1. This becomes 0 5, 8 plus 3 11, and here this becomes 1 plus 0 and 2 12,150 rupees. Okay, 12,150 rupees. Clear? So this is the amount for first years. Now we need to find simple interest for second year. So for this is simple interest for first year. The simple interest for second year, it becomes simple interest for second year. We again find SI2. This is called simple interest for second year. So in this years, this amount 12,150 becomes treated as a principals. Okay, so we can write principal is equal to 12,150 into, again we take time 1 year because we take time 1 year here and 1 year here, and the rate is 25 by 2%. This is equal to 2 into 100. Clear? So you can cancel it. This becomes 4 times. Clear? And when you divide by 2 this number, then you obtain 6075. Clear? Divide by 4. Now when you divide by 4, then we obtain 1 5, again 1, and this becomes 35 and divide by 4. So this you obtain 18, 8 4 32.75. Okay, so this is a simple interest for second year. If you write here amount for second year, this is equal to SI2 interest for second year plus P2 principal for second year. Okay, what this is principal for first year, this is principal 1,50 principal for second year. So you can add them, then you obtain amount is equal to amount for second year. This is equal to SIT. This is SI2. This is equal to 1,518.75 and plus amount. What is amount? Amount is given here 12,150 rupees. Clear? If you add them, so let's how to add them. 12,150 plus 1,518.75. Then this is 75 point. This is 8. This is 6, 6, 3, 1. So you can see we find amount for second year. What is the amount for second year? 13,668.75. So here we can find it. The amount for second year 13,668.75 rupees. Clear? Now after this amount is treated as the principal for third years. Okay, so now we find principal for third years. Student, in these questions this is given principal times and rate is given. So we we calculate and the amount and the compound interest by simple interest. Okay, so for this first we find simple interest for first year. This is equal to 1350. After this we find amount for first year. This is the amount for first year. So we get principal and simple interest. Then we obtain amount 12,150 rupees. This is amount for first year. And now this amount is treated as the principal for second year. So here you can see we put 12,150 as a principal. Then we obtain the simple interest for second year, 1,518.75 rupees. Okay. Now, so again, if you add this simple interest to this amount, means this is in the principal, then we obtain 13,668.75. This is the principal, and this is an amount for second year, but this amount is treated as a principal for third year. This is also becomes principal for third year. So you find SI2 simple interest for third year. Simple interest for third years. These amounts becomes principals. Okay, for third years. After 13,668.75 treat as a principal for third year. So for this we can write it 13,668.75 into 1. 1 is the time, and the rate is given here 25/2. So you can write it 20 into 25/2 divided by 100. Okay, so you can cancel it. 25 for the 100. Clear now? So we have 13,668.75. 13,668.75 divided by 4 to the 8. Clear? Divide by 4 to the 8. If you divide it 13 this, then you obtain, when you divide 13,668.75 by 8, then you obtain 1,708.59. Okay, approx. So this is a simple interest for third years, but we need to find amount for third year. So amount we write here A2, A3 for third year. This is equal to, you write here simple interest for plus principal. So principal is here 13,668, and simple interest is 1,708.59. This is equal to 1,708.59 plus 13,668.75. Clear? This is clear. Now if you add them, then you have to compound amount for third years. Okay, so here them, this is an amount for third year. This is equal to 15,377.34. Okay, if you add them, then you obtain 15,377.34. Clear? So you can see in both way we find same amount. This is amount. Okay. Now again we need to find the simple interest, compound interest. For compound interest, we separate this amount from the given principal. Okay, so simple interest becomes compound interest. We find the compound interest. Compound interest represented by Ci. This is equal to A minus P. So here A we find 15,377.34 and subtract 10,800. Clear? 0 0 you can write here and you subtract here. You have 3 4 7 7 and this is what is this 5 4. Clear? 4,500 rupees. Again, in both cases we find same compound interest and same amount. So student, I hope all of you understood this question. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.